You're not guaranteed another minute, and that's beautiful. No one is guaranteed a certain amount of time on this planet. There are 24 hours in a day, but not one of them is promised to you. You aren't guaranteed to see the ending of a movie just because you made it to the climax. Truth be told, you can't be sure you'll be existing 60 seconds from now. You're probably thinking this is a dismal and negative picture we're painting, but please don't believe that. There's incredible beauty found in this idea if you let it come to light. It's something that we often learn later in life. We suffer a devastating loss and we look back on our past. Perhaps a friend or family member passes away. We think about all the things we wish we would have told that person. Regret often accompanies the loss of a loved one. The wise person will let that regret pass. They begin to think of all the wonderful memories created with the person that's no longer in their life. They smile and get good feelings reminiscing that way. Eventually, our own mortality comes to mind. We realize that the world can change in the blink of an eye. When this happens to you, hopefully you never forget that lesson. Embrace all the beauty and positivity in the present moment. The things you've done in your past, even the past few seconds, cannot be changed. For all intents and purposes, that means it doesn't exist. You can reminisce about wonderful times in the past, and that's a good thing, but you have no control over your past. The future doesn't exist. You can't guarantee the future even for a few seconds or minutes or an hour from now. Embrace that. Understand what it means. This natural fact means you owe it to yourself to live in the present moment right now. Own it. Experience it fully with all of your senses. With the knowledge that we're guaranteed no amount of time on Earth, you'll start to see beauty everywhere. You'll understand how your entire existence is only one present moment at a time. Think about it this way and you'll make better plans. While your future isn't guaranteed, embracing this mindset will have you making smarter plans for your future. You'll take your relationships much more seriously. Embrace the present moment without guarantees of anything in the future, and you'll start calling the people you love and telling them how much they mean to you. No matter what you do, you can't alter the fact that nothing is guaranteed in life. This may seem like a heavy conversation to have with young people, but it needs to happen. It can produce an appreciation for relationships and beauty and positivity that otherwise might not exist. You owe it to yourself to plan for a wonderful future. You should also give yourself the gift of being totally alive and present in the now. You can't control everything, but you can always control how you respond to life. Life can be difficult. Oftentimes, it's the tough lessons we learn that make us see the sunshine in our lives. Think about it. Would you really understand wonderfully rewarding events if that was all you ever experienced? If from the day you were born you had nothing but magical moments, they wouldn't be magical. They would just be normal. You might not even be happy when these things happen because you just assume they're to be expected. So the next time life gives you lemons, make a lemon meringue pie. Whip up some lemonade. Do something to turn that negative into a positive. It's a simple fact of the human condition that you're going to encounter negative situations in your life. When things don't go as planned, you might not be able to control the outcome. What you can control every single time is how you respond to difficulties in life. No one but you gets to decide your mental outlook. That's a pretty powerful statement. And it's true. You're the only person in the world who can control what you think. Sometimes you might have a thought pop into your head and wonder where it came from. That happens to all of us now and again. This might lead you to believe that you don't control your own thoughts. Nothing could be further from the truth. As soon as some crazy thought gets your attention, change your mind. Think about something else. You can consciously choose your mental outlook if you don't automatically choose negative emotions when things don't go your way. Be careful with the conversations you have with yourself. Don't you wish you would have learned this when you were a much younger person? There's no telling how much success, fulfillment, and peace of mind you missed out on over the years before you learned that you can choose your own outlook. Until someone invents a time machine, you can't do anything about your past. What you can do is be careful about the way you talk to yourself. An overweight person might say, "My clothes never fit, I was just meant to be heavy." That's a self-actualizing statement. You're telling your subconscious there's no possibility of you losing excess weight. You're telling yourself that it's okay to be overweight or obese, and there's nothing you can do about it. Guess what happens? That's exactly what's going to become a reality in your life. Young people need to be taught that they're going to experience a lack of control many times in their life. They should also realize that they can choose a positive or negative reaction to any event. Always deciding to look at life negatively means you're going to see more negativity. Choose to respond positively to negative situations, and you'll feel better about your world and your life. Failures are just events, not declarations of who you are. If you could go back in time and talk to a younger you, what would you say? You would no doubt give your younger self some stock picking tips. You might reveal when life-changing events would take place and discuss mistakes you've made in your life. One thing you should probably teach yourself is something that a lot of adults never learn. When you fail, don't worry about it. Definitely learn any lessons you can, then move on. A failure is just an event. It's the opposite of a success. Both failures and successes don't describe or declare who you are. They're just things that happened in your life. If you brood over your failures, you're going to suffer a lot of needless pain and frustration. You might also find yourself scared to do many things because you're afraid you'll repeat your failure. You're going to fail a lot. You may have already had lots of failures in your life. It's a shame if someone didn't teach you that failures aren't that big of a deal when you're young. Look at your failures like a rainy day. Into each life, a little rain must fall. We often hate rainy days. We have a lot to do. We have to get out of our homes and handle our business. When it's rainy, you hate to leave your cozy abode. If you're caught outside when it starts to rain, that could be a problem. Maybe you forgot to put a spare umbrella in your car. You're out running errands, and all of a sudden, a rainstorm appears out of the blue. Dashing in and out of your car, getting things done could mean you'll get soaked. If you don't pay attention, you could slip and fall because of the rain, injuring yourself. There are a lot of reasons to dislike rainy weather. Yet nature needs rain to produce so many things we depend upon. If it stopped raining tomorrow, the plant-based food you would eat would suffer. Rain is required by Mother Nature to produce the fruits and vegetables you love to eat. You can look at your failures like rain. See the positive side of them as well as the negative. Every time you've failed in your life, that event has helped shape the person you are. Failures can be marvelous teachers if you let them. When you embrace failure as a statement of who you are, you limit yourself. A failure isn't who you are. It's just an event. It's just something that happened. The same can be said for successes. You probably know someone who brags every time he achieves something. It's as if he believes himself to be a success when that's definitely not the case. He's just a person who experienced a success. Learn from Michael Jordan how to treat your failures. Michael Jordan is considered by many to be the best basketball player who ever lived. He's won 6 National Basketball Association championships in 8 years. If he took his failures to heart, that would have never happened. Jordan missed more than 9,000 shots in his career. He lost nearly 300 games in his life. On 26 occasions, he took what could have been a game-winning shot, but he failed. He says he was so successful because of his failures. He would learn from them and move on. As soon as he missed a shot, he didn't let it get to him. He understood it wasn't a statement of his ability or inability as a basketball player. It was just a mistake. He learned to do things better in the future, and he moved on. You need to do the same if you beat yourself up too much when you fail. This is definitely something that should be taught to our younger people. It's better to learn that lesson early in life than as an adult, if that adult ever learns it at all. Were you taught the definition of insanity when you were young? A lot of adults never grasp the true definition of insanity. You might be thinking of some defining terms yourself. While there could be many definitions of that word depending on the situation, there's one that we'd like to talk about. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That's a pretty simple definition. It's been credited to Albert Einstein, one of the smartest humans to ever walk the planet. Whoever came up with that definition is absolutely on the money. Think of how many times in your life you've suffered from this practice. We all have. We tried something and failed, so we tried it again, doing the exact same things we did before. The reward was, once again, failure. Sometimes we do this unconsciously. We don't consciously choose a certain set of behaviors. However, that's exactly what happens. You'll hear people say that they always choose the wrong type of partner. By saying this out loud, they're virtually guaranteeing they're going to continue to do the same thing. What you speak oftentimes becomes your reality because it's planted into your subconscious. Simply put, if you don't change your actions, you're not going to change the results you get from those actions. People should be taught this insanity definition early in life. Do you have a few extra pounds you'd like to lose? A lot of us do. It's believed that as many as 2 out of 3 adults in the United States is overweight or obese. The numbers are very similar in other countries. This means you might have tried a few diets, then you started exercising. Did you lose some weight? Many people lose a few pounds at the beginning of embracing smarter lifestyle choices that lead to weight loss. Then they inevitably gain those pounds back, sometimes packing on a few more. What happened? Insanity struck. They had changed their actions in the beginning. They were eating better and working out. The reward was the results they wanted. Then they slowly went back to an unhealthy diet and quit being physically active. The same thing's going to happen in that situation that happened every time they adopted those unhealthy habits in the past. You can't go back in time. That's a shame because you have so much to teach the younger version of yourself. All you can do now is remember this insanity definition for future decisions you make. You can't create a different reality without doing things differently. Embrace different behaviors if you want to create a new and different life. Basic money skills should be taught earlier in life. Do you stick to a budget every month? Most people don't. Studies show that the average person doesn't take the time to write out a budget. That's too bad because simple money skills like budgeting can remove so much stress from your life. Did you know that arguing about finances is one of the main causes for divorce? This is true all over the world. It doesn't matter if a couple is wealthy or just scraping by either. Wealthy and poor people get divorced all the time because they can't agree on how to handle their finances. Sadly, this isn't something that's taught early in life. It definitely should be. A lot of people have serious stress and anxiety over their financial situations. If they had learned when they were children how to respect money, their future adult selves would definitely thank them. Budgeting is often not taught until college. You can take budgeting and basic finance classes in college. However, they're not required for you to obtain most degrees. You won't find many high schools or grade schools that teach our young people how to handle money responsibly. This just doesn't make sense. The young mind is the perfect recipient for financial management skills. Think of the money, frustration, and stress you would have spared yourself if someone would have taught you simple budgeting when you were a child. This is something we definitely learn too late in life, if we learn it at all. There are plenty of adults that don't have a handle on their finances. You probably know someone that makes a great deal of money. Yet they are always griping about their financial worries. That's not as uncommon a situation as you might believe. Making a lot of money doesn't mean you automatically know how to take care of it. There are plenty of grown-ups who would love to travel back in time so they could teach their younger selves basic financial management. There's power in writing something down. Do you write out your goals? Do you physically write out your budget every month and balance your checkbook? You might want to start doing that if you'd like to give your financial health a boost. There are plenty of studies that talk about the power of writing something down. It's truly magical, and it might even scare you a little when you see how it works. Something happens in the brain when you take the time to grab a pen and write something down on a piece of paper. Whatever goes on mentally or physically inside your mind and body makes you look at what you wrote as a high priority. It almost magically makes it happen. People who write out their goals are much more likely to achieve them. When you take the time each month to manage your finances with pen in hand, you enjoy a considerably better chance at reaching your financial goals. If you have any young people in your life, talk to them about budgeting. Ask them if they write out a budget every month or if they even know what a budget is. Help them develop some basic financial skills. This can provide literally a lifetime of rewards that includes a rosier financial picture and a lot less stress.